chill. Welcome. This is the smartest dumb people, and we back like cook crack. I am the host, Anthony That Dude Johnson, and to my left, I have Mr. Shabazz himself. Also to my left, a cast member that was holding out. He is he's out of his holding. He decided to come back to the show and give us some love. LV the Great. Then we also have, to my right, the First Lady, Treese Maxwell herself. So we got a lot to talk about, y'all. This is the first topic of the day. We're going to talk about a woman. A man proposed to a woman, and he said that he would pay $70,000 in her student loans off, or he would actually buy her a ring. She says she would rather have a ring because that's more significant to her. And I guess I'm going to start it and then throw it off to Maxwell, but I'm going to say it like this. To me, it sounds very materialistic. I don't want to say too much about it. I'm not a materialistic dude, and if a man is willing to pay your student loans off, why would you ever want a ring over a student loan being paid off? That is the most significant thing a man can do for you, is pay a bill that's damn near motherfucker staying there. Student loan gonna be there for 10 years.
How much was it?
$70,000, and he wanted a ring. She wanted a ring over that.
Right.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw it over to Maxwell. Maxwell, what's your sorry, Treese. What's your opinion on the woman wanting a ring over $70,000 in student loans being paid off?
I think that it's ignorant, but it's also a red flag for whoever proposed to her, because having bad finances is one thing that could ruin a marriage. And so going into a marriage in debt, if he offered to pay off $70,000 in student loans, I would rather have my debt paid off.
No, that's right.
And maybe she's just looking at the image of it. Some women are not actually trying to be a wife. They're just looking at, it looks good. The name sounds good.
A lot of women think that way. I want to toss it to LV. He's back on the show. Shout out to LV. Shout out to LV. The team is on. We on attack for it. Hey, so LV, what's your opinion on it? And we want to know what you feel about it as well.
Well, I honestly feel like even the whole marriage thing is an image. They say things like a woman isn't a woman until she gets married. When a man is dating a woman and they're dating over a specific amount of time, they say things like, when you gonna make an honest woman out of her? Like, marriage is the ultimate goal for a woman. Everybody knows that over 65% of all marriages end over financial differences.
Right.
Hell yeah.
And so when you have a marriage marriage is based on the flex. It's not based on building a foundation. It's not based on
the flex is like the flex.
The show. It's for it's for Facebook or whatever the fuck. Because they would spend more on the wedding than the actual of what they'll spend to bond and spend time with each other.
That's true.
And so my ideal is that I'm not spending $2,500 for somebody to come eat and drink and then eat some big ass pie, you know what I'm saying, that I bought, and then go home, and we go home right with them after the wedding. Everybody going home, they go home, everybody going home, you know what I'm saying, we're supposed to be celebrating our marriage, but we going home just like when did everybody leave the Lotto Social Hall? Okay, we out of here. Where y'all going? Okay, and so it's the same. It's the same for the flex.
Okay, what's your opinion, Mr. Shabazz?
My opinion is she is. Don't let me get to talking, because this right here kind of rubbed me wrong. Like, we talking $70,000 here. We talking $70,000. Do you know $70,000 would pay for the ring, the wedding, and a car?
More than that.
And you had the audacity to express that right then. Cause I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna say. Cause I be like, bitch, you done lost your motherfucking mind. Excuse my language. Why would you even express that right then? You could have expressed that later on. You know what I mean? If I tell you I just paid $70,000 in your school loan, so you don't have no debt, your credit gonna automatically go up, and the first thing you do is say something about a goddamn ring, buy your own motherfucking ring. To tell you the truth, I'm just being real. Like, go buy your own ring. Right. Like I just spent $70,000. You know, if you need that bad to run around and show everybody and play into this social concept of what you think marriage is. Like I was just telling him outside, if I just paid your $70,000 school debt, that's enough for you. For everybody to come to you and say, "Girl, you married? Where your ring at?" $70,000 is worth you explaining that every goddamn time somebody asks that. Am I lying or am I dying?
I agree.
You know what I mean? Every time, I don't care if it's 32 people ask you in a row. 70,000 is worth you taking 15 minutes out of your day and say, "Girl, look,
So,
he just paid my $70,000 school loan. I was gonna be paying that for years."
right.
So it's just real ungrateful. It's ungrateful. I try to look at it from both sides, but it's ungrateful. Period.
Okay.
So would you want a ring?
I would,
Oh, my
but
God.
of course, I definitely would want a ring.
Over a
Hell no. I'm gonna
Not-
get my student loans paid, and I feel like the ring would come later.
So
you know,
what-
you can.
So would you say I want $65,000 paid on my student loans and $5,000 for the ring? Or you
No,
want
we gonna pay the
student
whole
loan?
70 on the student loans. That's
But
gonna
then-
shoot somebody credit score up. We could finance a ring if it was really that serious.
But you still
or I
want
could
the-
just get a ring from the pawn shop. You know, for you know what I'm saying.
So you would still want the ring as the symbol of
Love.
marriage.
I mean, let's face it. How do people identify that people are married when you out in public?
You pull up to the house.
No, you.
Tell them, you tell them.
I hear
tell
you,
them,
Brandy.
Hey, you tell them,
Hey,
hey,
read some comments.
come pull up. Come pull up. You want to see what I got for my marriage?
Brandy said
Let's pull
tattoo
up to the
loan
house.
paid on that finger.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Literally.
And some people, I think Beyonce and Jay-Z did that. They actually have like their wedding rings like tattooed on their hand or
Do they?
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's being
not a
more.
bad
That's,
idea.
that's becoming more of a trend. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
A
believe
a
that?
tattoo
Yeah,
it on
it's a
your
tattoo.
finger.
That'll hurt. I don't know if I'm in that.
It's a tattoo.
You got tattoos,
Me.
Yeah, I didn't get them finished. Them motherfuckers look like graffiti.
Cause it's about the
I
symbolism.
didn't get
And
them
see, here
finished.
again, we're going
It
to.
is, but when you, I mean, when you see people out in public, the first thing you do is, you know,
Make sure y'all like and
Look at
share.
their hand and be
by the
like,
way.
okay,
We
you're
haven't
married.
did that. Sorry, Maxwell. Make sure y'all like and share. Everybody here, make sure you like and
Please,
share.
please like and
Comment.
share.
We looking for top fans. We're about to start giving out free merchandise to top fans. Make sure you like and share.
Brandy's
Well, let's-
right. She said eventually you want the ring, but I wouldn't have said it at that time, and that's true.
But let's just be
But
real
you
about
still
this
saying
thing.
eventually.
Let's be real
So
about
then the
this thing.
70,000 ain't enough
It is.
at that
It
moment.
can be. No, I
Because
understand
I'm
the
like
symbolism.
this, if I'm gonna get married, I want my husband to have a nice ring too. So I would have been like, damn, you paid my student loan, so I'll just finance the rings on my credit or whatever, so we could both have some nice ass
Right.
rings.
See, again, it's about the concept of marriage and
Yeah.
not what marriage is really about,
About.
number one. Number two is this here. This is just common sense and logic. If this man just paid $70,000 to pay for your school debt, motherfucker, you're going to get a ring sooner or later.
Right.
It's only like 5,000, 10,000
Exactly.
maybe. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For I
The
mean,
ring is coming.
The
Like,
70,000 should last a lifetime.
Vonda Crawford says the only reason to get
back.
married is
It lasts a
he's
lifetime.
back.
Vonda Crawford
Crawford.
says the only reason to get married is for the eye of God and love. The flesh does it for the gram.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's your sister-in-law.
Yeah. What's up with you, Momo? What's up with
So
you,
you
Momo?
can get a ring
Thanks for
later.
Get a
tuning
ring
in.
later, period.
All right, so
From who?
um,
Who are you gonna get the ring from?
I mean, like I said, if my fiance, husband, whatever, paid off my student loans, then I would finance it on my credit.
So
I don't
you
see
buy
nothing
the
wrong with that.
rings?
Yeah, why
both of
not?
y'all?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he paid $70,000 in student loans, why not?
Okay.
Hey,
So no financial
Damn.
bill, no
That's what I'm
financial
talking
plan.
that's what the
Let's
fuck I'm talking about.
let's not try to come up with a game plan to build on the 70,000 windfall that I no longer have to pay. Let's go buy houses. Let's go buy apartments. Let's go buy, because the relationship will last longer, especially
Financially stable.
Yeah.
Especially
Definitely.
if y'all have a common goal
Yeah.
in the marriage.
Right.
Because the money only lasts so long. We see that with
That's
millionaires, NBA players, football players, actors, lawyers, dancers, all of that.
Right.
Right.
The money, once the money gone, or the money don't never run out. The love still runs out because the man or the woman is out building a future while the other one is stagnant. And there have
That happens a lot.
there's no neutral build or
I
ground.
kind of feel like we have to talk about Maxwell topic because it ties into it.
Okay.
So let's just jump into it.
Okay.
Maxwell came up with a topic. This is from her crew. What's the deal breaker in dating someone? Me personally, I'll go first always, so I can wing it to somebody.
And this is for men and women.
For
We
men
want to
and
know,
women. So
what are
what's
your
the
deal
deal
breakers when you're dating?
Me personally, I would say multiple baby daddies. Like the more men that's tied into your life, I don't think I can deal with it personally. Like I don't want to see you with 5 baby daddies and you got to answer to all of these niggas and me.
Right.
That's my biggest fear is I'll trust me, I'll be an amazing stepfather, but the parents have to be on the same page because I ain't really all into that you calling my wife because little Tony did something at school shit. I just feel like if the baby daddy situation for me will drive me away from a woman in a heartbeat. So what's your opinion, LB? You want to go first? Or you want Maxwell to?
No, go ahead.
All right, Maxwell. What's your opinion? What's the deal breaker for you, Maxwell?
Brandy said flash of money. Mine would be drama. I don't like to deal with people that don't have their life together, but I mean sometimes things happen that's unavoidable, and that's life, so that's cool. But for the most part, like, have your life together, have your mental health together. That's a big major.
We talked about that last 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and you was talking about how we were all talking about how in order to manifest a man, you have to be the same person. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we backtracking when we say have your life together. What's having your life together? Can he just be mentally stable, working and living in his mom's basement?
Some people can look good on paper and have everything together, but they not right up here.
Mentally,
Yeah.
So is it? It's not necessarily what you have; it's how you present it, or it's
Yeah.
how you are as a person.
And it don't mean a man is a bum if he living at his mom's.
Yeah, no
it
doubt.
doesn't mean that.
No doubt.
Does he have a job? Is he going somewhere in
Do he have
life?
work ethic?
What type of goals does he
Yeah.
have? Like, those things matter. But
So-
for me, like that baby mama drama, that is definitely a deal breaker for
agree.
me
Me too.
because I feel like. I ain't gonna judge and say that, oh, if you got kids by multiple women or whatever, then I don't want to date you. I'm just gonna say have some order, have some order.
Structure in
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Yep.
right. What's your opinion, LV?
I mean, well, a lot of times it's the partner that causes the drama.
Shout out Sway.
To whatever, it doesn't matter, the man or the woman, but it's what they go through which causes the friction and the toxic shit in the relationship. And so
what's the deal breaker you say? I couldn't
a deal breaker for me, and it goes back to the first thing, if you don't know how to, if you can't maintain no money, I don't want to sit around. I don't want to sit around broke. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, you start looking for different avenues to start getting some money. You know what I'm saying? We both sitting here with no money. You get to looking like, well, we both just can't sit here. And I want a drink, or I need a cigarette, or I need, you know what I'm saying? I need something to move around. And we both sitting here looking, okay. And then I feel like that opened up the doors for infidelity.
Yep.
Which then leads to the
It
drama,
does.
which then leads to the bullshit. If you can't maintain no money, I'd rather take a whore that can maintain funds. Because then you also got another leverage. Because then you also were able to play the game.
So that's like a pimp or something.
Well, no.
You said a whore.
No. Former. Former. Because that woman will put 100% effort in to prove that was the old her. You don't have to do anything. The only thing that she has to know is that you know that she got a pass.
Right.
And you've been out here before, woman. You know what I'm saying? And so don't sit here and play no game like you holier than now when I know the truth on you. And then let's start.
But I think, as you said, whores. I said this years ago. The most stable, best relationships is the motherfucking women that's been ran through. And that's the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
So hold the hell on. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a whole minute.
You gotta hear what I said. Hear me out. Hear me out. It's the.
I mean, a good woman that ain't been ran through ain't shit.
No, do you know what ran through means? No, let me break down the terms of ran through. I'm saying the woman that had her share of sexual experiences, not ran through and had a train or nothing like that on them, but they just had their fair share of relationships. Their fair share. But I'm telling you, the term you can't turn a whore into a housewife. I believe the whores make the best housewives.
Because they're proven.
Y'all are
That's the same way.
out your mind.
Ain't no y'all to it.
What?
If you get with a man, right, and you know that this man,
They on your
and you know that this man had a past of being a womanizer, and you tell him, well, look, I want to fuck with you, or I want to get with you, but you can't be doing what you're doing.
But you know what I don't like about some men? Some men will sit back and go, I want a good woman. I want a supportive woman, somebody that's going to love me, that's going to be there for me. And you're right, then they go and entertain hoes. Why?
I'll tell you why.
Because they good companions? Because what? Because they don't complain?
I never speak on...
They complain.
I never speak on the wife situation, but... everybody knows.
Hold on, wait, clear up what is ran through because
I'm about to explain it.
Okay,
I'm about to explain it. So everybody knows I was with somebody for 22 years, damn near, right? And I broke her virginity. I was her first, right? This woman told me every day. This woman told me every day how she experienced more, and I understand because we were together so young. We didn't experience anything. We didn't experience anything because we was together so young, and that's what our biggest downfall is. Our downfall was because we were never accepting of just being in this one relationship our whole life.
So it's sort of like where you want to be at. I bet.
No, it's like Donnell Jones.
Yeah, that's your favorite.
Yeah. Sorry, I gotta go, but that's true. Like but with a woman that not being ran through, because y'all gonna take that shit way out of context.
Yeah.
A woman that slept with at least 10 men. And you got times 2 because women.
But I mean, okay, I was with my ex and I was engaged. I was with him for like 6 years. I didn't even know the difference between a small penis and a big penis because all I knew was him.
And how many years?
We was together for 6 years, but.
And so what, you got together when you were 20?
Yes, I was in my 20s.
And you was a virgin?
No, I wasn't no virgin.
Well, then you know the difference now.
No. What I'm saying is that absolutely not.
You never see.
You can't tell me what the hell I be doing.
Watch porn to find out the different sizes.
I mean, no. Of course you. I mean, of course.
Club.
Of course you see them, on pornos. But I'm saying actually being with. I didn't know what the difference was to be with another man. Because I was with him for so long.
I gotta say this about LV. This is why I hate this motherfucker. He went from deal breakers to talking about whores. I don't know what happened.
You gotta get into the details.
I mean, y'all are not making no sense though.
Get into the details.
You still ain't explained what you talking ran through. Okay, so you saying 10 or more men. You saying ran through like they've experienced 10 or more men, what you said, right?
I think he used the wrong terminology, but I think he means experience. I think he means
no. That's the.
So a good woman ain't experienced because she ain't fucked enough.
That's the corporate
experience.
But when I say ran through, there's no difference between ran through.
Don't start, not today.
The only difference is the word is more fancy.
Yeah, no, right.
Seriously,
right.
That's the corporate.
And that's what they own. Words can
Now, just to unpack a little bit. Just a little unpack.
Ran through is experience. All right, so you consider yourself experienced?
What? I'm 35. I didn't, you know.
Ah,
Now
Tara,
you know that
Tara.
there's. Now hold on.
I'm 35, so
Hold on.
everybody at this table has had their share of dating.
So we know that
Right.
you have heard of a woman that has a name in the street.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody that's ran through. And so if you
But
say,
y'all are saying that them the type of women that are desirable.
Can we get?
Well, I'm not saying that they're desirable.
You gotta stop
but
saying
that
y'all
woman,
now.
but that woman,
Okay.
that woman will break her neck to live that name down. It's no different than when you got a man out here, a street dude
trying to change his
that
life.
prove that he's a gang member.
So where does a good woman fit in this equation?
A good woman has to have. A good woman has to. But we gotta read a couple comments off because everybody.
Yeah, y'all-
Let me get mine in.
Go ahead,
Which is
TV.
my deal
Before you
breaker
say
is
it,
I'm rolling with sis. I'm rolling with Niecy, which is a liar.
Yeah.
Especially me as Aquarius, and I ain't gonna say I ain't never lied before, so I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I
Some
hate a
motherfuckers
person
born to lie.
that you can tell, yeah, they born to lie. They lie
Yeah.
about everything. If it's anything that's actually going to tarnish their image, they trying to uphold this image, and you can see through it from the beginning. That's what I hate. Like that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
All
Definitely.
right. Read just a couple
Okay.
comments.
Yeah, Janice said lies are a huge deal breaker. Sway said, but you have to remember there's a reason it didn't work out with anyone else in her past. Queenie says, Anthony, I need to speak with your mother, dude.
Right. What up, Roberta?
Nah, Mom Deuce was just on this. Y'all gotta check the show out. Y'all gotta check his mom them show out.
Shout her out.
She showed us over there a couple of weeks ago. Talking about she wish she'd have slept with some more niggas.
My mom only had my dad, so that's fine. Yeah.
Tara Washington said, deal breaker, a man's stinky feet and shoes. Girl, Tara, I got a story about that,
what you
sis.
say, what Tata
I sure
said?
do. But you can
Man's
be
stinky
experienced
feet.
with not having one mate. Come on,
shit.
fellas. Queenie said, fix it, TV, clarify. Janice says, just because a woman is talked about doesn't mean she slept with a lot of men. Some men lie about sleeping with certain women. Well,
maybe in junior high. Now I do not. Now I know a couple of men that done lied on their unit. You know what I'm saying? I know that's out there. I know that's out there. That's a fact. That's out there. Some men say they slept with a woman and they didn't. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't usually find 10 men that say they slept with a woman and that's all
Bill
lies.
Cosby had 30 women pop up. He said, I ain't slept with none of them.
Men and women lie, but numbers don't.
Sleeping with the women.
No, Bill Cosby.
Cosby.
They're like, he drugged me and slept with me. Bill Cosby, like, I don't even know them.
Shout out to I can't pronounce her name.
Javonda.
Shout out to Javonda. She said she liked the background. Yeah, we're working on it. We're a work in progress. Make sure y'all cop these sweaters and shirts we got. Black on. Then we got the smartest dumb people. Mental illness is real. We got multiple shirts. LV got plenty of shirts. LV has always been the nuisance in the group. He just moves differently. We have no control. Everybody got on black owned shit that we own, all of us. And LV came with a fucking fleece. What is this? A flannel. So we gotta talk. We gotta talk.
That's what he do.
Yeah, that is definitely what he do.
Your sister said she had a dude lie on her before.
I did in high school, and I was still a virgin at the time. But being an adult, no, I ain't had no man lie and say he slept with me.
Grade?
Yeah, 11th, yeah.
Yeah. 14?
Huh? No.
15?
He
I'm just asking.
Hey, man,
Nobody is 15 in the 11th grade. What the?
I'm just asking.
So we got other. Look, we want to stay on this topic. We got other topics. Y'all want to jump topics?
No, we can jump.
Yeah.
We can jump.
Y'all want?
We good.
Sway
I think
said
they
it's
done
good.
I think they done.
What are your other deal
This
breakers?
is so good.
Yes, Sway. What's your deal
Shout out to
breakers?
Sway. Make sure y'all like and share. Y'all have to like and share. We're not gonna have more shit in the background if you're not liking and sharing. We have to get better every week, which we are doing. Shout out to
And that
everybody.
makes it so
Shout out
more
to our
people
top fans.
What's the?
Yeah, we just need
Makes
more
it so
people.
more
to
people can come in. So
Yeah.
like and share, please.
Okay. Flander just tuned in. So what are your deal breakers
Flanders.
when dating?
Well, that's the first male in the chat.
Philandis?
Osler,
yeah, my
what's
cousin.
up? That's my guy.
Okay. Come on.
Yes,
Come on,
you
man.
can order Sway. The shirts,
Do that for-
the sweaters cost $35. The t-shirts cost $20. Just holler at one of us. We'll get you out the
She
material.
said Flander.
That's his name, ain't it?
Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Brandy. Shout out to Jolene. A couple of our last
I
purchasers.
pronounced it right. Go
And
to
shout
hell.
out to Queenie. They have Brandy. Your shirt is on the way. Shout out to you for purchasing the shirt. A part of the Smartest Dumb People. She's definitely a top fan and one of our consultants. She's always talking to me and giving me advice. And shout out to Brandy.
Where can we order?
Sway, you know my number. Stop.
All right.
Well, that might have been a salt trick, though. I appreciate you, Sway. That might have
Man,
been
that's an actor. That's an actor, man. She playing, man.
So we got other topics. So
Yeah.
should we jump to the Ocho Cinco or should we jump to the
No, let's go to two
original
different-
topic,
Yeah.
which is
The
the
two
two different realities?
Let's turn it
Okay,
up. Let's turn it
so
up.
we about to turn it up. We about to turn it up, and so I'm about to break down the two different realities, and I'm gonna have my co-host just give their spiel. So what happened was I have a friend of mine. I shouldn't call her older on TV, but shout out to Joan. She knows who she is. Me and her had a conversation, and I said, Joan, you should go walking Standing Bear Lake with me and Jesse. And Joan is a older white lady with a dog, right? And she lives in the Miller Park area. And I said, and I didn't want to even say the area, but fuck it. I can't
Miller
go
Park.
there. Yeah, but
That's what it
anyway,
is.
so Joan, I said, Joan, you should go walking with me at Standing Bear Lake. It's a beautiful neighborhood. It's a beautiful scenery. Let's do it. She said, no, we can go walking in Miller Park. I say to her, Joan, I'm not held by the same standards you are held to. I can walk down the same street, get shot, get harassed by the cops. We are not the same. You know what this woman told me, which is damn near broke my heart because this is one of my good friends. She said to me, you're going to stop talking about my neighborhood.
Wow.
You know how insulted I was? I grew up in that area. Oasis, we all know, the old ass candy, the 25-cent pop machines, the church with the old lady used to pick me up every I can't remember her name, but I think she's...
If y'all remember Zestos, then you...
Zesto, yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, she said to me, you not about to keep talking about my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm just telling you the harsh reality of being a black man. I can't go in every neighborhood. I can't walk down the street with a smile on my face because these motherfuckers out here will murder me just because I fit the criteria of who they think they're looking for. It's happened. And shout out to Brandon. I'm going to tell Brandon's story. Brandon was taking his 13-year-old son home. His car was shot up. And his 13-year-old son was shot. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about this man was just being a father, taking his child home.
Right.
And for a white lady to try to convince me that I'm talking bad about her neighborhood just because she moved in and she's not even from Omaha, Nebraska, that was very hurtful. And that's the harsh thing about two different realities.
How long she been staying down there?
A year.
Oh,
A year? No, let me take that back. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Probably about 3 years.
that's the same thing.
3 years, and
That's
she came
the
from
same thing.
Arlington, Nebraska.
You don't have no idea that.
You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't wait to talk about it. As soon as she said that to me, it clicked in my head. We got to talk about this. And then me and TV and LB had a couple conversations. And this is new to Maxwell, but we'll start with Maxwell because she's the first lady. But Maxwell, do you believe that? And it's called hidden. I want to say. I don't know if I came up with this term myself, but I'm gonna say it. Hidden privilege. Like they don't even realize.
Yeah.
I made that up, but it's kind of dope though, huh? It's called hidden privilege. It's they don't even realize the shit that they're saying, and they're treating me as if they're.
Thanks, Unica. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
She's treating you as what now?
She treated me as if I'm just making this up about a neighborhood that she doesn't know about, like I know about. I know plenty of people that died in that same neighborhood. My auntie.
Plenty.
Yeah, my auntie.
Big body bags.
And for her to say to me, "You're not gonna keep talking about my neighborhood."
I don't like when people say my neighborhood because if you don't own shit down there, it's not your neighborhood.
Damn right.
So I don't like when people say that.
Do you think she owned a house or buying a home? You?
Oh, she owns the home for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
So it is her neighborhood. I mean, it's not her neighborhood. She doesn't understand the radius is deeper than these two fucking neighbors that you're friends with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to explain to her like I can't walk this neighborhood late at night. And like I said, it's deeper than just the neighborhood itself. We got to talk about police. We got to talk about police.
They make a
I think
living
that
down there.
things but crime can happen anywhere. But I mean, we know it's some hot areas where crime still happens.
Is a
In them hot areas, you keep your ass out of there. We all know that.
Tamale
And I keep
area
my
down there.
ass out of the hot area
Yeah.
with intention. LV, we have
Right.
to touch on what you feel about it because I know you so you always prevalent when it comes to this conversation. What's your opinion on like the two different realities?
Unpack this
Please,
thing.
my
LB.
opinion is this. Everybody else is coded but us. And when I say coded, that everybody's on code. She can walk that neighborhood and without no repercussions or possible. Now she still can get robbed. Somebody can still see and sort of say, this is an older white woman. I'm about to snatch this purse off this woman.
Right.
She can still fall in that. But the majority of the individuals that live in that area are scared to touch white people. The first thing that they'll say is, she's the police. You touch her, you getting triple life in jail.
Right.
You do something to her, you getting double life. You
Right.
won't,
Right.
you won't see the light of day.
Right.
But they don't have that same fear of causing and inflicting harm onto each other that they have when it comes to other races.
Right.
It's on code. Everybody, you can touch anybody, anywhere. You can touch the Hispanics, you can touch the Asians, you can touch anybody, but you don't touch them. Don't you harm a hair on a beautiful white head.
But
Or you in trouble.
right.
And I'll let you unpack, but there's another code to it, that even though that's a minority owned neighborhood or lived in neighborhood, she lives there, she still has a sense of community. And
Right.
the majority of them have a sense of community. So when you go into their community and they're not used to seeing your car, they call the police. When you
Right.
go into their community and you park somewhere you ain't got no business parking, they looking out the window.
Right.
And they will take it even a step further. They have took it to violence. They have came out of their homes and asked you, "Hey, buddy,
Why are you jogging in this
you
neighborhood?
know anybody around here?"
right.
And you know, yeah, I know. Well, what's her name, buddy? They come out their homes, but see, we label them as Karens or Kens.
We was
but-
talking about that neighborhood watch, right?
Yeah,
Our neighborhood
but-
watch that we ran off.
Yeah, you
Back
know
in
what I'm
the day,
saying?
right.
Like, oh look, neighborhood watch come through our neighborhood. We throwing rocks. We get out of here. Y'all the police.
Your own people been living there for
You know what I'm
32
saying?
years,
And,
right?
But they have a sense of community, a sense of community that we don't have.
Yeah.
And so, yes, she was offended because you were saying something about her neighborhood, her community. Even though it's majority minorities that live in that community, it was still her community. She lives there. She owns a home there. We don't have that sense of community, which is why we will abandon those communities to go live somewhere else.
Right.
To go live in another community. We'll abandon our communities. Stand up men, stand up black men and women. We will say,
But what's the
let me get out of here.
But what's the resolution? Like I get what you're saying, right? But I got a better question for you. Would you walk through a neighborhood you could be murdered at any point in time? And I mean that wholeheartedly. Let's have a conversation.
Will I walk through a neighborhood I know that I can be murdered at any time? No.
Okay.
That because I understand our mentality. I understand that we don't have a sense of community. I understand that that they don't have a fear of me. They don't have a fear of harming me.
Or taking your
And so they will look at me as a trophy, even though I'm just some old ass black man.
That's what I was
You
saying.
know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Now check this out. You say, would you walk through another neighborhood? I won't even walk through my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So this is where the two different realities come in. Like when I go down north and I'm sitting on somebody's porch, I'm already head on a swivel being in my own neighborhood because you got people from other neighborhoods that's coming through there trying to catch some slipping. Mm-hmm. And then you sitting in your own neighborhood on the porch with the head on a swivel, and then all of a sudden you see this Caucasian jogging through knowing they do not have them problems. They're walking their dogs. You know what I'm saying? This been happening. This been happening for the last like 4 or 5 years. Like right over in the like I say, the 40th Ave neighborhood. Like, you know, all this gentrification been going on. You sitting in the hood, you looking. You every car come down, you looking to see if it's 4 niggas in the car that's ready to get down on somebody. And then you see this person come through and they walking their dogs, or it might be 2 of them, and they laughing and playing, and you know,
is it lack of respect,
they do not.
they're not going to be touched?
No, it was what he was saying with the Dakota. Our people are so geared towards eating each other alive and destroying each other, but they know to look at them people and say, I can't touch them because I know that the repercussions and the consequences is going to be way more extreme than dealing with my people.
You know what? Because, and I'm gonna let you unpack. So, but you know what your parents will tell you when you leave, when they know that you're going into a white area. Don't you go out there acting no fool. Don't you go out there around them white people acting no donkey. You're around them white people, you'll mess around and get hurt. You'll mess around and so we already coded.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the same way, and I always say, as soon as a motherfucker cross 72nd, put your hat away, put your gun away, put your rag away, turn the music down, turn your hat off,
look straight.
That's a stop sign,
Right.
put your seatbelt on.
Right.
And as soon as you cross back 72nd, nigga, hand me the gun, hand me the rag, hand me the hat, turn the music
We good out here. They ain't
turn
tripping.
the music
They ain't tripping out here.
and we
right.
right back at it. And so then there's no sense of community. We're calling
What up, B-Moss?
chaos
But
and
it's
confusion
deeper than-
and collusion in our own community.
It's deeper than Americans.
And be afraid.
It's deeper than Americans, though. They do this shit in other countries, too, all day long. It's just impoverished communities.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well-
It's set areas.
Well,
Set area.
now-
I watched the 90 Day Fiance, and the lady
What up, Don?
was robbed on camera with a machete for a cell phone, right? But she said,
What up,
we
Chevy?
didn't go to this neighborhood. She was robbed by a man that looked just like her, a melanated man that looked just like her. She was robbed by him.
I mean, but if you go to certain parts of Jamaica and Mexico,
Dominican.
they won't give. The people who you come with, the tourist guys, they'll tell you, hey man, they don't care who you is.
What's up, Leo? What's up, Vic?
Don't go over there. Don't go over there, because you go over there, you're most likely to get robbed. You most likely, because they don't give a damn about.
So me saying to my friend, so tell me this, me saying to my friend, I ain't about to just go over there. Did that make me wrong? Or should I take the chance to prove to her?
No, hell no.
But, I mean, but standing there late.
I think
They got. I'm sorry, not.
No, you good.
But they found nooses and graffiti and standing bare lake.
I'll take my chances with a racist. I'll take my chances with a racist over a gang member any day of the week.
Well,
Why?
it comes with
Why?
numbers too. It comes with numbers. Like you can see one situation like that, but then we know what we done seen repeatedly for the last 30 years in these neighborhoods that we talking about down north.
I'll take my chances
I
fighting.
mean,
We know what we done
they've been lynching us for 400 years, and then
No, I hear what you're
showing a
when you
noose.
take it-
Listen, showing a noose in a tree and seeing 5 or 6 people killed in a week in a certain area. I'll take my chances with that noose that's hanging from the
Okay,
tree.
but what about
In the daytime.
police? What about the police? That's
I'm not
police in
going to
them
Standing
areas.
Bear Lake every
okay,
day.
but I
Where
think
they
as a
done.
black man, you aren't
What's
safe
up, Lisa?
anywhere that you go.
Thank you.
You're not.
Thank you.
So to me, your chances of something happening down north in Miller Park is about as even as
No, not.
it is.
Yes.
It is.
No, not.
Because you can be at
Oh,
Standing
yes.
Bear Lake and a woman could literally call the cops and say, I see a suspicious black guy in
That's
the
person
hoodie.
in vehicle put on the side of
See,
the me escorting my son home and get shot.
See this right here.
No,
is
but
the
what I'm
difference.
saying is that it can happen anywhere. So I'm just
That-
saying,
that
as a
can
black
happen.
man, it
Can
can happen
happen.
anywhere. And I'm not saying that
So how many innocent
you was
black
wrong
men
for
have-
feeling.
Go ahead, go ahead.
You weren't
No,
wrong
no,
for
no.
for
I got a question. I'll let
expressing
you
to
go.
your
I'll
friend
let
how
you
you felt.
I'll let
But
you go.
as your friend is a white woman, so you have to educate her because she's probably
That's
not
right.
looking
You
at
said,
things
are you
from.
serious?
They're looking at it as a
but look,
community.
what she
That's
just
her
what she
community.
just brought up, and
Just 'cause she's white.
I want to unpack this right here.
All right.
Black women and black men
Barry said,
still
I'm taking my
have
chances
two
down
different
north.
realities going on. See, the thing
Y'all
that black
think
men
so?
go through, we see this every day. You say it can happen.
I just
We
said,
know what-
as a black
we
man, you
know
aren't safe anywhere.
what-
So
yeah,
black
that's
women do
fine.
understand.
That's fine. But what he's telling you is specifically him as a black man, with his own experiences, he feels safer going to Standing Bear Lake than to going to 40th Ave 29th
I get
Street,
that, yeah.
38th Street.
Because like I said at the
projects
beginning,
or
those
whatever.
are hot areas. We know that.
No, but it's more than it's just being hot. It's been, we've seen people get killed down there.
I know.
Literally
That's what I
seen
mean
our
by
friends
hot.
get wiped
It
up off the
ain't-
country.
ain't no shot.
Yeah,
I know that, but what?
Listen, I'm about to give an example.
Ain't no shot
like
spotters
that.
out west, so I get it.
But listen, I'm
You
about to
ain't seen
say
it
this. No, I'm
yet.
about to say something.
Go ahead.
I got in an argument in Bellevue. I was in Bellevue. I got in an argument with a man, road rage. He pulled on the side of the road. This man had on hunting gear. He said, "Get out the car, motherfucker!" Now, listen, I had a 9mm that was registered and everything.
Yolanda, you said, Maxwell need help. What I need help with?
What up,
But the story is important because I'm about to tie the story. The story is important because I'm about to tie the story to everything that I said.
Go ahead.
So I seen this white man. We got in an argument. He said, "Pull over, motherfucker." I pulled over. I had my 9mm that was registered in my lap. I killed this motherfucker. He pulls in the gas station, and I realized this motherfucker got hunting
Yeah,
gear
he ready to go.
on.
Did you
He has
see
an
the rifle?
AK. But listen, this is the same way in the
coded.
black. This is the same way in the black community.
coded you.
No, a motherfucker with blue rag around his face, a blue hat on, and say, "Get out the car, nigga." I would do the same thing. This nigga will kill me.
Let me punch the code in on this.
It
nigga right
definitely
quick.
ain't. I see how this is gonna
Go
go,
ahead.
Yolanda.
It's never 3 against 1
What?
because
What?
you got 32 women in the chat all the time.
Y'all
so
talk
it ain't
for
no 3
32
against
Yolanda,
1.
bring your ass up here.
Right.
Bring your ass up here so we get sick LB on you. We've been waiting anyway. You taking your time.
I want to read
Go
Leo's
ahead.
comment.
ahead,
Leo
read
said,
Maybe some comments. We got a bunch of
Leo said we should address the fact that Joan's sense of ownership in her neighborhood will ultimately result in encouraging those of her culture to join her, move into the hood in droves, and they will become neighbors while the ones who have not taken ownership will build another hood somewhere else, gentrified.
There it is.
I can
Yeah.
agree with
Gentrification.
that. That's the same way you go out
Salute
there
to Leo.
and not to talk about nobody, no area, but you go out there to Cherry Hills, you go out there to the Legacy Crossings. You go. They don't even deliver pizza. You can't even get a
We
pizza.
created another
You know
hood.
what I'm
Another
saying? You
hood.
can't even get a pizza.
You know what? Nobody told me about Legacy Crossing, and I almost moved in there.
Oh man, legacy.
Oh man, and so
I didn't know.
And so what they do is they come in, raise the property value. Okay, man, we about to be out there at Elkhorn,
I agree.
Fremont. You know what I'm saying? And that because now, am I innocent in all this? No, I don't want to be around no niggas, especially that's gang banging.
You don't want to be around no
Drugs
chaos.
slinging.
Like you said.
And I don't want you to harm me. You know what I'm saying? I'm old. I'm scary. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the same vigor that I had when I was 20, 30, and used to love going to the jitney stand and the after hours and all of that.
problem.
I love chaos.
Yeah, I just
confusion.
accepted chaos. We accepted chaos and confusion. We didn't love it.
I used to love it.
I didn't love
Motherfuckers used to be fighting and shit. You know what I'm saying?
You go around and fight.
I'm a civilian. You know what I'm saying? I know all these street niggas out here. These niggas out here fighting and going back and forth. I'm just sitting in the car. I know it. No motherfucker ain't get worried about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just watching the chaos.
And I gotta say this, R.I.P. to Day Day, but I'll never forget the story. It was Day Day.
Salute.
It was Day Day. I want to say Tarpley and Damn Near TV. It was y'all. I think it was y'all party or some shit like that. And it was shooting. And Day Day big ass. You know Day Day 6'8", 6'9". His big ass we all under the car. They shooting. Day Day said, "Nigga, I ain't scared of no motherfucking bullets. Nigga, I've been shot before, nigga. You niggas under the car." I was literally under the car, scared for my life. This nigga was the biggest target. And like, nigga, I've been shot before. Nigga, ain't nobody scared of no bullets. I remember that shit, man. I'm scared of chaos.
I remember I was at Hattie Mae's. They got the shooting. I tried to dig a hole in the ground. I tried to stick my head in sand like an ostrich. I tried to
Vietnam.
Get some comments in.
I tried to dig a hole in the ground.
Janice says, remember Ahmaud Arbery was killed jogging in a safe white neighborhood because he looked suspicious. It's true. Barry B. Moss says, I'm taking my chances down north.
Thank you.
Javonda Crawford says, they say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here.
Tupac, Mopac,
Tupac
Yeah.
said that.
Momo
Yeah.
Pop, that nigga, that was Pop.
Wendy Seal says Leland ass has never been scary. Has never been scary. Is that an excuse to live out west? LOL. You don't need an excuse to feel comfortable.
No, I'm gonna tell
What
you.
up, Jay
hold on,
Dahmer?
Let me answer that.
Let me tone down.
Hold on,
Yeah.
time out. Let me respond to that.
Okay.
And so, no, I moved out west to try to take my kids out that shit.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Right.
Fact.
Because
Right.
I stayed, because the last place I stayed was right there off of 52nd, right there by Benson. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
Wells Fargo.
you want to go down here to 40th Ave and do your thing, you're going to have to try hard, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to try real hard. You ain't going to be able to go out the door and then walk down 42nd and then be right there on the
Right.
corner. You're going to have to try. You're going to have to find rides, tries, automobiles,
I grew
and
up.
mobiles.
I remember living on 60th Street, and I moved into this beautiful neighborhood, and it didn't last long. And all of these kids moved in the neighborhood. My son would be out there, and I would listen through the window what they were saying, and they'd be like, "Come on, nigga, what's up, nigga? Let's go bust the window out, nigga." And it was, I mean, like 20, 30 of them. And I was like, it's time to move. You know what I'm saying? I always tried to avoid my kids.
Yeah.
When I lived in the projects, my daddy wouldn't let me go out. I went outside one time to take the trash out, and it was a bunch of dudes, hanging around, and they followed me back to my unit, not realizing that my dad was there, and they knocked on the door, and my dad went off.
That left on.
He was like, "Don't take the trash out no more." I was like, "All right."
That because
Don't need this shit.
Yeah.
you know how many
We got
times
to-
we went to the park.
All right.
We ain't on no time limit,
Right,
bro.
You know how many times we went to the park and there's guns and violence there, and we just come to play basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Horseman.
And,
Oprah.
I used to go to
Marriott's.
Erskine's. I used
The
to go to
ballpark in
Erskine's.
Erskine.
The
Yeah.
ballpark in Vietnam, they shoot that motherfucker every day while they playing
And so-
basketball.
And so, kids doing normal shit, like going to play, they being introduced to violence. That's the same way.
Seeing
I don't
everything that
understand
happened last
nobody in
night, what do y'all
Chicago-
think we
You
need
see
to
the little girl that
change?
just got killed walking with a bag of Cheetos, like 11 years old. I wanted to talk about. I'm like, we talk about that shit too much, but it was a little girl that just was in Chicago walking home after buying a bag of Cheetos, like 11 years old, got shot by a stray bullet. So you're saying exactly that.
Momo said all her life she had to fight.
What do y'all think?
Come on, cuz.
What do y'all think needs to change in Omaha now? Like, did y'all see what happened last night?
With the two shootings with
Yeah.
Tudor Heights and
At 24th and Pratt.
24th and Pratt.
We can't change anything. We have to accept and move on. I mean, move away. And all we can do is protect our own. And what I mean by our own is my family, my kids, like LV said. But the problem is we need more people worried about that. You worry about that first. The first goal is get your kids out of these bad communities because these bad communities become cancerous. They become a cancer that affects your child. And I'm telling you, my son,
They still want to go back though.
because you got the homeboys that you dealt with that went back. But I'm telling you, I literally seen my son at 10 years old around kids that will fucking murder you probably now. My son is 20. My son called me today. Shout out to Navion. My son called me today. He got a job working with his grandpa. His job. My dad got my son a job. My dad been in his job for 30 years. My son called me happy and he's blessed. But I'm saying, like, that's the calls I want to get. I don't want to get no calls about my son being murdered. I want to get no calls about my son being in jail. I don't want to get no calls. I'm just saying, like, you have to create the environment. If we all do it, though.
Well, because we act like we can just come together in a damn town meeting and change this shit tomorrow.
Yeah. That's
Right.
That's the
we
bullshit. So we have to go back to the front door of the problem. Front door of the problem is when they were designing these cities and things back 100 years ago, they took all of, what I would say a majority of the low income people and put them in a certain area. One of the names of it is projects, which a project is an experiment. So people don't even think about the name project. It's just like I live in a project. It's an experiment that was put on you a long time ago. So the things that create these conditions is profiling by the police, redlining of not letting people live in certain neighborhoods, lower expectations in the school, discrimination with the loans, the portrayal of us on TV and the movies and etc. The outcomes in court, harsher jail sentences, treatment on the job. Like, these are the things that actually cause the attitude that we have towards each other as we're living on top of each other and none of us have anything. Like, we don't just, like, I don't think the average person, if they have all of the resources that they need to be adequate, as far as living, are going to come outside with a bad attitude and want to rob you or want to kill you or all that. So it's a certain type of attitude that has been brewed, that has been stirred, that these kids come out the house and they want more. And when they want more, they look and see what they can get immediately. You see what I'm saying?
The gratification of that is like, we don't have shit. So as you said that, and when you said the quote unquote projects, I had this. It clicked right away. There's a community. Everybody heard the documentary, the Cecil Hotel, about the girl that went missing. There's proof that they put these police and they made the police. This is how sick society is. I'm talking about. This is how sick the government is. The government kept the homeless people in one area. They didn't want the homeless people to ruin the whole LA. So they kept the homeless people in one. If they could keep homeless motherfuckers in one area, what makes you think if you're on Section 8 they can't keep you in?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
That's what redlining is.
It's the same thing.
Exactly.
And I'm like, when you spoke of that, I was just thinking about the Cecil Hotel. They were talking about how they had the area for just the homeless people, and the police would police that area. Like, don't go past 36th Street.
Right.
Queenie Turner says, everybody moving out the hood into another hood, tracking the same ish. How about we fix it together, starting at home?
Well, here go the thing.
You said it best.
Here go the thing.
Javonda said, quit looking at TV.
Yeah.
Jay Dahmer says, take resources and the people will turn the
I want to say, LB, you are right, because you said it. I said, what are you? Somebody said, what are you doing to help the community? You said, I'm not going out there doing no ignorant shit. I'm in the home.
I'm not gonna kill nobody. I'm not gonna rob nobody.
It starts with you, because what you said, it really starts within the actual person. There's no way we can kumbaya this shit to work.
It's not. Yeah.
But
hold on.
Like, having a town meeting is not going to change that.
Hold on. Check this out. So here we go again. This is where, because we got a lot of black women running for mayor right now. But again, this is what we'll do. Oh, I'll vote for that person. I'll vote for that person. Look, politics is about money. This starts with politics. This starts with the people that are actually representing us for each district. But these people will sit there and play with you with these words. Okay, that's your problem, and then go say that in their campaign.
Yeah.
But then when they get in there, we don't have the money to put into their pockets to make them motivated to actually follow through on these agendas that they just campaign to us. And so when they do get up in there, these other races put money in their pockets, so they throw these other agendas ahead of our agendas, knowing that they have the same skin color as us. So one thing that we have to understand about politics is we have to start paying these politicians. You have to start lining their pockets. If you're not lining their pockets, then your little vote to get them in ain't gonna do nothing, because what's gonna keep them there is the money that's gonna be people are gonna be given to them.
Shout out to Stephen Abram, by the way. He was on the show. And
my God, yeah.
Shout out Steve.
All right, I got one thing to say.
What?
Is that most people eat where they starving at, and so it's just not in private communities when they do them Ponzi schemes. And they run them games on them high levels,
like the Nike
like that shit.
Yeah.
And they run them games on a high level, and they know that they taking people retirement. They know that they taking millions of dollars from people. They know that they are running a game. That Enron shit. You know how many people kill themselves from that? And so the predatory behavior just isn't an inner city thing. It's a social human being thing. And so wherever you starving at, that's where you're going to eat at. And so the individuals that are living in these private communities, yes, they're going to eat there because that's where they're starving at. The other individuals that you think that have financial wealth, and they're eating off their own people on a higher clip. Bernie Madoff, he was eating right there with the socialites, knowing that he wasn't going to pay them nothing, and knowing that they didn't have a dime coming, and he would take millions. people was killing themselves because he took every dime that they had. They had no more retirement. Millionaires
Right.
that was wiped
Right.
out, jumping out of windows,
Right.
killing themselves. You know what I'm saying? He's still alive. His son turned around, did the same thing, and so that predatory behavior that we think is a inner city thing is in all communities. Now, the aggression and the frustration may be different because when you dealing with finances and you dealing with that same way, I'm frustrated now because there's something that I want to do on my level that I can't do. And so, I really can't understand that I'm frustrated, but I'm frustrated. I really don't know why. And then I sat down there like, man, I'm frustrated. So I'm trying to bust this move. I can't bust this move.
You see how you said bust this move? I think this is a good segue into our last topic. How he whoopty-whooped it. Okay, he whoopty-whooped it. And our last topic, we got to get it off because I feel like
Who,
the
white
Chad
man?
Ochocinco.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna speak first.
We got Maxwell. Maxwell said nothing.
Well, she's doing
I'm
a great
good.
job.
That scars up in there. What up with it?
Yeah.
Maxwell, this blindsided topic is not really.
Shannon?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Sir.
we got a blindsided topic for Maxwell, but let's have at it because I feel like she can be a huge, intricate help for
Go ahead.
this topic.
Go ahead.
So the problem I watched the clip of Chad Ochocinco. He was crying on I Am Athlete. If you haven't seen listen, if you haven't seen I Am Athlete, it's 4 athletes at a round table doing the same shit we doing. They just got a little bit more money than us. But I respect the show, love the show. Chad Ochocinco lost his mom, okay? And he was crying on the show. And the most powerful moment was when I seen these 4 black men get up from a table and give each other a hug. And it made me realize, like, as a black man, we don't really have nobody to talk to. And like, we got the anger that you talking about, the frustration that you talking about. I can say this honestly for me and LB, we do have a lot of people to talk to, but that's because we're charismatic and personable. Even TV. That's why we're doing the show, because like we're the average black man's psychiatrist. They don't know it though. This is the sick part about it. They don't know it though. But I'm telling you, when a man speaks to me, I listen and I digest it and I try to give him the best thing for him. Okay, so but I realize a lot of these men don't have that.
Right.
So as Chad Ochocinco, a millionaire, a man that's been in the league, a man that's been on TV all around the world, was crying to his brothers. He gave them all a hug, and I could see the difference in how he felt. So
we don't get a sucker cuz no I'm playing.
so why is it that men, we're gonna say men, not black men, why is it that men don't have nobody to vent to? And like I can say this for Maxwell, me and her have our cocktails, we'll have a whole fucking spill.
Pause.
Cocktails.
Pause.
But I'm saying like why is that man? See, that's why he's saying why we are the way we are, because we can't even use certain terminology without feeling vulnerable. So I'm gonna speak first because I am a man, and I'm telling you, men don't like to feel vulnerable. But sometimes sometimes as a man, you need to be at your most vulnerable moment in front of your closest friends and your closest people. And we so scared of that. Like, I'm serious. Like I don't want my son to see me cry. You know what I'm saying? And the first time my son see me cry is when I was talking about my mom was sick, and me and him was sitting in the car, and I just looked over, my son was in full-blown tears. And it made me cry. And I'm like, as I'm going to say as a black man because I'm black, we don't have nobody to vent to. And I just sat and watched my son tear up and cry full-blown tears because he was worried about his grandma. And as I'm trying to be tough, because me and my grandma don't get along. I mean, me and my mom don't get along. And me and my mom ain't talking right now. But that's the problem with men. What's wrong with men when it comes to being emotionally attached to anything? Like as Leland tells the joke, pause, that shit creates a signal in a man's brain. Okay, I can't say this in front of him. You know what I'm saying? But as we joke, because that's his thing.
Yeah, cock and tail, that really don't go together. You know what I'm saying? But I understand. I know what you're talking about.
Thank you, Barry Moss, and also to Yolanda.
Go ahead and read them all.
Barry Moss said that because society has made it that men aren't supposed to show emotions, and Yolanda Reynolds says it's okay to cry. Mark Hill says we are taught to just deal with it and get over it as a man. Shit tears you down over time.
It does. So we're gonna go to Maxwell.
Well, yeah, let
Go to Maxwell
talk.
first. Maxwell, what can you do to help a man? Because I know you're very. I ain't gonna lie though, when we have conversations, you want to talk about your shit. So
Better get hers off.
I'm normally there for her psychology.
Whatever, you talk about your stuff too.
Yeah. But go ahead. What's your opinion? What can you do better to help a man like express himself? Because I remember you was in situations to where you'd be like, "Talk to me, not me."
Yeah.
But men, and you'll come
Definitely. What I've experienced dating men is that they don't like to be vulnerable. They don't like Barry Moss says, it's a sign of weakness is how they feel, and they don't like to be vulnerable and open up and talk about the things that hurt them.
How do you get them to open up?
That gangster shit.
Very rarely will a man ever even admit that he's hurt, but your pride is the one thing that you got to let go of sometimes.
Barry said sign of weakness. So Barry, how do we get rid of the weakness? I don't want to listen. I'm 40. I'm gonna die within the next 30
because
years.
a woman can't teach a full grown man to be vulnerable.
But you can't.
That's something that you have to be willing to do.
But I feel like
you gotta undo some things that was taught to you in childhood.
I feel like teach is. I feel like teach is the wrong term because.
But a woman can sit and beg a man all day. What is wrong with you? Talk to me. I'm not judging you.
That's what's wrong with me.
But you know what? But
at the same time,
that's
you. You're the problem.
But listen, hurt people. Hurt people.
Okay.
So a man will open up to a woman and then turn around and hurt her. And when she be like, "Well, you didn't do that when such and such was finna whoop your ass," and then y'all get mad at the woman and be like, "Oh, see, she said something to hurt me," but. Don't hurt the person that's trying to help you.
But this is the sick part about
trying to smooth. No,
this is the sick part about Maxwell. She said when you tell her some vulnerable shit, I could be like, "Yeah, man, me and TV were about to fight," and then a week later we arguing, and she be like, "You weren't about to fight, TV? Whoop your ass," and that changes the whole dynamic.
Hold on, let me get this off. Because don't get me wrong, that sound
hurt people.
That sound fine and dandy later on in the relationship, but the truth is that when men and women are coming into this relationship, women don't want to see no weak ass nigga, and that's just the truth.
So do crying?
Like, in the way I grew up, like women are attracted to.
Let me jump in on that.
I'm telling you my experience as a man. You know what I mean? Like as a man feels like he can't show weakness from day one with a female. Am I lying?
You ain't lying at all.
Like you can't be just a weak person.
Asshole in general.
Because you gotta come off like that. Because we know that they're attracted to security. That's just facts. That's big facts.
Like
that women,
boys. You can't deny
they're attracted to security. So they're not going to be They're not going to see security out of what they see.
You want that smoke so bad. You look at him. He said, like bad boys.
That motherfucker Megan Thee Stallion said I turned into a crybaby.
But listen, but I think where men take it, okay, but I think where men get it wrong at is you don't necessarily know what a woman considers as weakness. What you may consider as being weak, a woman does not always consider a man being weak. Mm-hmm. So you think if I'm vulnerable to her, or if I cry one day, or I tell her that I wasn't, loved enough, or
what if your man tell you, my neighbor slapped me and I went back home and got my pistol, and then you and your boyfriend later on down the line, you said it yourself. You will say, so you want to walk around with a gun? You ain't want to slap that motherfucker that slapped you next door a week ago?
Yeah, if you hit your woman, she gonna be like, why the hell you didn't slap Billy or whoever?
Those are different things. Because
I'm saying you guys don't know what a woman actually considers as weakness. What a woman considers as weak.
I wouldn't.
It's not the same thing that y'all feel like that's weak.
I just feel like when you take our vulnerability and use it against us in an argument, that's the problem right there.
All right, so hold on. So, just so we can.
What's the topic? What's the topic? Read the topic again.
The topic is why can't men be more emotionally attached?
Listen,
And that's for a man to feel like a man, right?
No, it's for a man. Why aren't
To
men
feel
more
like he
vulnerable?
has somebody to talk
Why
to,
ain't-
but still be able to feel like a man,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Of
that's what I'm
course.
saying. It's different when a woman is saying you can feel like this. No, that's fine and dandy, but that doesn't give me what I need to still feel like a man, but also be vulnerable. You
So-
see what I'm saying?
right. And so that is like, I talk to maybe 6 or 7 men on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying?
No cap.
And I was in my studying and in my growth, you know what I'm saying? Iron sharpen iron.
Right.
Men hold accountants to men. And so, you know what I'm saying? And so, can I cry to a man?
No, not crying. You ain't
Yeah.
not crying. I wouldn't suggest you cry to no homie just out of the blue. But you have to leave that door open that he might cry one day. You know, like listen, I am so emotionally connected.
But
Can't nobody tell me
crying-
shit.
Now, my
You know what
thing
I'm
is
saying?
this.
To me, seriously,
If,
I'm
crying,
emotionally
if, there,
connected.
if there was a resolve to crying, cry your eyes out. You know what I'm saying? But if there's no resolve to crying, cry your eyes out. I tell my daughter this. What the fuck is you crying for? There's no resolve to you crying.
But you got
So,
to let it
Crying
out.
is a really, I mean, it's a real emotion.
It's a cleanser. Like,
Yes, it helps to
Life Jenny
cleanse the
said,
soul.
Yeah. They say a man
Because,
ain't supposed
because just because you cry don't mean you weak.
It's
Because
like
I'm a
taking
woman,
yourself
I
to the
cry.
laundromat.
But best believe when I get through crying and I wipe my tears away, I'm gonna have a solution after that, and I'm gonna know that don't let the same thing that made you cry once make you cry
I wanna know
again.
what's wrong with you. What's the
Crying
fucking problem?
is
What's
so-
wrong?
I'm trying to solve
you
something.
crying
I am.
for?
I'm
But
trying to
listen,
solve, right.
look at
You
it
know
this
what I'm
way.
saying?
Look at it this way, LB.
What's wrong?
Crying is a soul cleanser. It's like taking your soul through the laundromat.
Yes.
And you have to accept
What the fuck
that.
you crying
It's a
for?
normal
But like you
emotion.
saying, when you get done crying, where's the solution? Or we gonna have to
What's
cry
the
every other
result?
goddamn
The,
day?
the solution is I'm gonna put this cape back on and wear it because I just cried in it.
What the heck is you crying for?
But that ain't
I
giving
wanna
me.
know what the
That's
heck
not.
is you crying
That's
for?
not a substitute for that. I need somebody to talk
We got 6 more
to
minutes,
get
bro.
through this bullshit that I'm going
We're gonna
through.
go 1:15.
See, this is my thing. Is it facts that in the black community, most of us grow up with our mom there and our dad not there?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Facts, right?
Yeah.
Facts?
Yes,
We
sir.
all agree on that?
Facts.
Yeah.
No cap.
Remember those numbers, right?
Facts don't count.
Men and women lie, numbers don't. So as we grow older and we look, because I can tell you just my dad died when I was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know really no grandpa on either side, and my family is deep on both sides, my mom and my dad's side.
Deep
But
as
wasn't
fuck.
but wasn't no grandpas around. See, that's where I'm saying what we're talking about. Like most of the time when you look up, we all gotta admit we've had all these subjects about baby daddies not being there, men not being there, men being able to run away from their situations. So this is the situation we're dealing with as men as we grow up. We don't have nobody to talk to unless it's like our old culture or something. Like we don't have grandpas to go to. 9 times out of 10, our dad is not even there. Like these are the people that you can actually talk to that really give a fuck, really care about you, excuse my language, they really care about you, and that you can cry in front of them because you're their blood. You don't have to go to no average person. I don't have to go to my friend as just my friend. But
what's
this
the
is what
point?
we left to do.
But what's the point of having a friend if you can't be emotionally?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying we're asking a question.
Yeah.
Why do black men have no one to talk to? These numbers that I'm saying is telling you why. Our dads and our grandpas aren't there. Usually the uncles and stuff aren't there. So now we have a smaller group of people to go to, or we have to go
That's
to
deep,
these
bro.
women for them to tell us how
That's
to be
deep, bro.
vulnerable,
That's
but they
deep.
can't teach us how to be vulnerable as the man that we want to be.
No, it's the wrong woman because really, if you're vulnerable with the right woman, she's still gonna respect you and not hold that against you. What? What?
No, that's just Anthony. Anthony when Anthony get in deep thought, he be like,
I don't know. If you, to me, like, if you vulnerable with
That's
the,
deep right there.
if you're vulnerable with the right woman, not everybody is gonna pass judgment on you or feel like you're weak for being vulnerable.
That's true.
But that's a small number.
Men let
like,
I feel like men just let their pride get in the way.
Who do women vent to?
Man.
Mamas,
What you talking
sisters,
about,
men. My dad, like, I can call my dad right now and talk to him
Man.
about whatever. My mama, my
Have
sisters.
multiple, options to vent. You know why? Because women are also.
But
catty.
do you vent to
I'm gonna
women?
say some slick shit too.
A few.
Women are
That's
catty.
it.
So you
And they
can't
want to know
vent.
your
So
business. That's
now
the
hold
difference.
on. So now you can't vent to women, but men is supposed to be able to vent to men.
Here's a difference.
Is that it?
Here's a difference, though.
LV,
That
you can-
sounds-
She's not seeing that part, and most women are not seeing that part.
No,
and I'm not
here's the
saying, I'm not
difference.
going at you
Okay.
saying you wrong. I'm saying, as a man, I feel like a man, like I want to see an image of a man that can actually guide me into being vulnerable as a man. Like talking to a woman, that's fine and dandy, but I don't want her to soften me up too much, so I'm running around here. And that's my point.
Soften him up?
See, and that's my point. My point is, as a woman, you
Y'all can't even wear the
see
same dress.
that it's a certain concept.
Ain't no way you can convince me. Ain't no way you can
Hey,
sit here and
man.
convince me that y'all can sit
Say
here
what
and
you
convince
just
me
said,
each
LV.
other. But y'all can't even wear the same color, not even the same dress, colored dress.
What, two
Yeah.
women?
Yeah. Motherfucker got a red dress on, she walk in the club, another woman got a red dress on, no, you look the same.
It's a problem.
Motherfucker saying, no, that bitch watched me on Facebook. She been watching me.
Oh man.
I knew I had haters.
Closing remarks.
I said I have just a few women that I talk to. That means a very close friend of mine, my mama, and one of my sisters.
All right. So closing remarks. Closing remarks. What can we do better than that? Sorry that we didn't get to every comment, but we already 15 minutes over. Closing remarks.
Hey man, I'm glad to be back.
Man,
You know
man,
what
shout out
I'm
to
saying?
LV.
I
Shout out
thought-
to LV. Shout out.
I
Shout
thought I was
out
gonna
to
have to
LV.
jump on this nigga, but
Hey.
I decided different. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
a lot of people don't know this about me.
That's okay.
This is my big brother. I knew he'd come around eventually.
You know,
Ain't
I
nothing but
didn't-
love.
I didn't
Nothing
take
but
no
love.
bait.
Yeah.
LV is my
Nothing but
big
love.
brother, man.
Nothing
Literally.
but
All right,
love,
let's
man.
go.
I'm glad to be back.
We'll go this way with the ending comments. My thing is this here. I said what it is. I think black men have a deficit, a limitations to who they can talk to, who they want to talk to still keep their manhood. But at the same time, we all need to vent. Period.
Yeah.
We need to vent. Like you can't keep it held up, bottled up, and then it boils over. So I think that we do need to talk to who we can talk to. We should vent. Ain't nothing wrong with crying. But at the same time, us as men, like what I'm gonna say is this here. What I'm gonna do, it's not gonna happen tomorrow. I'm gonna be there for my daughters. I'm gonna try to be a great grandpa. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
sir.
when I have grandchildren and grandsons and all that, I'm hoping that I can be there, be a solid rock for them to come talk to me, and be a great uncle, so that my nieces and nephews can come talk to me.
That's
Because I see that that's what I needed that is not there. So I'm gonna try to produce it. But this is gonna take years.
Years.
So
No cap. LV.
No comment.
Same thing, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of, I just had a grandbaby.
No shit. So
Congratulations.
congrats.
Oh man, what pictures this week?
No, I don't want
We need to see
nobody.
the grandbaby, so
Next thing
put
you
the-
know,
put the
motherfuckers
grandbaby
talking about
up
they
there.
took some hair out my comb and put a hex over my grandbaby. I ain't doing none of that. I ain't doing none of that. But I just had a beautiful grandbaby.
Shout out to
man.
LV and the grandbaby. We got a grandpa in the building. We got a grandpa in the building. Shout out to LV. Oh, shout out to Yolanda Reynolds. Happy birthday, girl. One of our best fans. Shout out to Yolanda Reynolds.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Maxwell,
birthday.
Closing comment.
I just think that men put up this barrier between them and women, and you have to open up. You have to be a little bit vulnerable. You can't always be, thinking that you're going to be judged or you're going to be considered as weak.
I'm about to.
Women.
I'm about to pour a motherfucking Sprite. Congratulations, motherfucker! Listen, shout out to Cam from Paid in Full. So listen, this is the end of the show.
Hold up.
Okay.
I got a health tip.
Oh, do that.
Shabazz health tip of the day
Mr.
is
Shabazz
real
health tip.
simple. Drink plenty of good water, at least 2 or 3 liters of water a day. Good alkaline water will keep the body temper hydrated and flush out many harmful bacteria out of the body naturally. Stay hydrated, people.
All right, so that's your Shabazz health tip. This is the smartest dumb people. Anthony that dude Johnson, LV the Great, Mr. Shabazz himself, Treats the First Lady. Y'all have a great night, great show. We love y'all. We'll
Appreciate
see y'all
you. Love
Friday.
y'all. Salute.
We'll see y'all Freestyle Friday.
Hey, yeah.